So, welcome again to my high school football championship series for College Football 26, streaming live on YouTube and later uploaded to, streaming live on Twitch and later uploaded to YouTube. A quick reminder that all 8 of these teams that's being featured in this series can be downloaded and imported into your College Football 26 video game. Simply use Dreadwin94, the username down there that you can search for, and all of these teams will be pulled up. They all have custom rosters and 5 uniform options for every team. Make sure that you're searching in the username search box and not the keyword search box. All right, so this is the weekly schedule. We already completed the first 2 games for week 6. So South Terrebonne and South Lafourche was we watched that game on Tuesday night. That was streamed Tuesday night, and then we saw Morgan City and HL Bourgeois that night as well. So tonight we've got the next 2 games. We're going to kick things off here with Thibodaux at Ellender. So let's pull up my game screen and we'll get to that. So that is the matchup we're looking at, and Thibodaux has been in some very, very close games this season, and they've dropped a couple surprising games that I didn't expect them to drop. They were an early favorite at the beginning of the season. They're actually, of all the teams that I've got, they're the highest overall rated team that I have, but for some reason, they've stumbled a couple of times. So we'll see how they finish out the season. This is a very important game for them against Ellender, as both of these teams are tied for that number 3 spot in the standings right now. So let's see what happens. Ellender, in terms of uniforms, they're going to be in their alternate home uniform, so all blue here with their silver helmet. And then Thibodaux, I believe, are just in their basic away uniforms. Yes, their default away uniform for the Thibodaux sides. That's what they're going to be looking like. So let's get on to the action. Let's enough wasting time. Let's get on to it. 8 p.m. kickoff time. We're going down to actually Berg, Louisiana, because the Ellender Patriots use the South Terrebonne Football Stadium, which is in Berg, Louisiana, under the Friday night lights for this matchup between the Thibodaux Tigers and the Ellender Patriots. So I'm going to kick it off to the broadcast booth as always, and then I will catch you guys on the other side once we see how this one shakes out. Let's see what happens.
Kicker has everything lined up and about set to get this one underway. Returner's going to try to see what he can get. Able to find enough room to get it out across the 25. He's brought down at the 26. We have got a tremendous matchup between these two running backs, both stars in their own right, and David, both ready to make a huge impact.
I mean, how fun is it to have two guys, one on each side, when they have the football, like they can go the distance. Just dynamic speed, great vision. These defenses are in trouble because these guys can touch it a bunch of different ways, and Palmer, they can hit home runs from anywhere on the field.
And I think what makes them really unique too, David, is that they're very versatile guys. Both guys can run between the tackle box. They can take it outside. They can both catch the foot.
There he goes. The 30. Past the 10. No one's going to get him. Touchdown. When that receiver got free, it was all over.
And it's so nice to have a receiver like this as a quarterback because you pad my stats. I like those long touchdown passes where I just threw it really short and he did the rest of the work.
Getting set for the extra point after putting the scoreboard to work for the first time. And with the extra point, they get the first 7 of the game. They wasted no time on that drive. Got it on their 25, and 2 plays later, they're in the end zone. Coming out with it, it's Johnson. Pulled down at the 18, and the decision to bring it out of the end zone was not a good one. Let's take a quick second to call out some of the impact players their coaches mentioned mentioned in meetings this week. Anything you guys heard that really resonated with you?
Yeah, I love when coaches talk about guys that bring it every single day. Like, that we can depend on them. They can get other guys lined up. They're always motivated. They're always being a great teammate. These are the...
And he will be sacked at the 6-yard line.
This offense already in the black zone, a little bit backed up. How do they want to respond? They come out to throw the football, be aggressive, and this defense was ready, and they got pressure on the quarterback and got a sack on the very first snap.
And now they have enhanced their degree of difficulty on 2nd and long from the 6. Brown wants to pass. And it'll be incomplete. This is some physical pass defense. You make up the game plan and not a lot on the play sheet for this. 3rd and long from inside their own 20. Looking to throw, and he needs a chunk play. Finds his tight end. He's pushed out of bounds at the 13 and gives this offense a little room to work. And here comes the punt team. 3 and out and not much choice but to get rid of the ball. No return coming. He'll call for the fair catch. Guys, this offense coming back out onto the field. To the ground with the back. Didn't get much done on that run. He'll fight his way out and maybe pick up a yard. Trying play action. And his throw is incomplete. It'll be 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Lost one deep down the right side. And they wanted it all on 3rd down, but now dealing with 4th down. The punt team makes its way onto the field. They'll boot it away for the first time tonight. It'll go out of bounds, and we'll see where they mark it. It's going to be right around the 35. Wants to throw on 1st down. He put it out there for him, and the senior gave him a chance, but they couldn't make the connection. Working well behind the sticks on 2nd down. After the incompletion, back to the passing game. Rushes on him. Trying to move the sticks on 3rd down. Brown will throw it. Makes the grab. What a play by this defense, and they stop him short. It'll be 4th down. They bring the punter onto the field now. 3 and out, they got stuck in reverse. They hope the punt can bail them out. Everybody stays in their lanes well enough, and they stop him at the 31-yard line. All right, guys, so here's the offense back on the field again. Off the play fake on 1st down. Gets it out fast. Oh, what a cut! And he was off to the races, and he gets it to the 45.
Defense is about getting the guy on the ground, holding on for dear life. It's hard, I know, with so much speed on the outside, but you got to get that guy on the ground. When you miss one tackle, next thing you know, all that extra yardage is killing your defense.
And he'll pick up 1. It brings up 2nd and 9. Tried to pound it on 1st down, now back to the line. Pulls it and fires to the left. Crosses the 30, he's got it. Chopped out of bounds, they'll mark him down at the 15-yard line, and this offense is doing work. Going to go out on a limb and say they have a lot of him plays. Throw the ball to him, already over 100 yards receiving.
Keep it simple, stupid. Just find this guy and get him the football. Now, if you're on defense, it's pretty obvious where this team is going with the ball. You're going to have to come up with a plan to stop this guy.
The inside handoff. Stopped at the 13-yard line as they try to turn this into points. Operating in the red zone here on 2nd down.
quick throw there. It's so important for quarterbacks to be able to find a rhythm and to be comfortable and confident. You want to just get the ball out quickly, make it an accurate and easy throw. And you can tell that these two guys, they rep that play in practice all the time, and it's now showing up here.
Third and short now from their own 48. They'll try to pick up the first through the air. Got his man. Breaks into the open. They are finding soft spots in this defense. He's got it down to the 25.
Man, the quarterback knew exactly where he wanted to go with the football, had time, spins the ball deep. Nice job by this offense, understanding what the defense is giving them and creating the explosive play.
As they get set to snap it, time winding down here in the quarter. Off the play fake on first down to throw. And the pressure is going to get to him, and down he goes, and that's how the first quarter will end. Both teams made no secret. They wanted to target their big play receivers, and they've done just that in the first. Now the challenge here, they've taken a punch, but they can't let it get out of hand as we start the second. So second down here as we're back at it after the break. Looking to fire. Right down the middle. Wide open downfield. Several defenders get an assist on that tackle.
QBs, when they see these zone coverages, man, some of them panic, some of them throw it too quickly, and it can make bad decisions. I like how he waited a little bit, waited for the right window, the right opportunity. There's always going to be holes in zones. I just got to be a little bit patient.
He'll sneak it and try to surge forward. That'll be enough for the first down, and now they've got it at the 15-yard line. Brown will throw it. Bringing the heat. That last play, the kind of thing that can mess up a really good drive. It's 2nd and 17. Handoff to the single back. They make the stop after a pickup of 3 just inside the red zone at the 19. And this offense has gotten off to a good start on third down, but this is a different deal on third and long. Under fire. Snagged in the middle. It's been wide. Works his way to the 4-yard line, and they'll have it first and goal. They'll try to get it in with the run. And he'll be stopped for no gain, still sitting at the 3-yard line. They've got it down to the 3, now it's 2nd and goal. Tries again to get it in. And he is stopped, not getting close to the end zone. Line of scrimmage still at the 3. They want to dance their way in on 3rd and goal. He's a tough, crafty back, but he couldn't find his way to the marker, and it'll be 4th down. Go straight ahead. He's not going to get there. Stop short on 4th down. They're backed up 1st and 10 from inside their own 5, and they'll try to get this drive started. Here comes the heat. Pressure got to him, couldn't get rid of it, and they got him for a safety.
Well, the defense could smell blood in the water in that situation, and a great job pursuing, getting to the football, showing you all of that athleticism they have, and they come away with the safety.
They'll get set for the free kick after the safety. Got room to work. So we'll see the offense on the field to start this drive. Brown wants to pass. That one never had a chance. Incomplete. Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long. to the 41-yard line. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Let's see what this offense has dialed up this time. Looking to throw on first down. Takes the easy throw in the flat. He is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose yards on that one. So now it's second and long. Wants to go up top. Here's a heat. Pressure's there and he gets rid of it. Good job to toss that ball out of bounds and avoid the loss. They've got to come up with a big play on this third and long. Looking to throw, and he needs a bunch. Working the middle. He gets it to the 31-yard line. A big play for this offense.
If I'm a defense, I got to find a way to get some more pressure on the quarterback or disrupt their timing and their rhythm. I can't give them these big chunk plays through the air. I got to be maybe a little bit more aggressive or do something a little bit different.
After ripping off a big chunk of yardage, you figure they're going to go right back after him. First and 10 from the 31. Incomplete. He had to get rid of it before he wanted to. The defense put the heat on. Backed up now. Here's second and long. They'll throw again after the incompletion. Under fire. And the ball comes out. What a disastrous play. It's as if that ball had a magnet going back to the offense. How in the world did they keep it?
Great job by the defense forcing the fumble, but a bad, unfortunate bounce, and the offense pounces back on it.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On third and long, he'll need to loosen up that arm. And the pressure is coming in, and they get him again.
Nice coverage on the back end. Great job. Nothing open right away. The QB holds the ball in the pocket, and the pass rush finally gets home. Sometimes it's the DBs doing great work. Sometimes it's the defensive lineman winning up front.
And here comes the punt team. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. You'd think they would have had a good chance to down that one deep, but the bounce carries it into the end zone for the touchback. The handoff to Johnson. Running hard and getting 6 yards out to the 26. Clock stopped. We have reached the 2-minute timeout, and they've got a chance to lock this thing up before the break. They'll line up
see that drag route coming across the field. How about putting the ball right on his numbers? Not high, not low, where he has to stop his momentum. Right on the numbers where he can catch it, keep running, and chew up some yards after the catch.
Looking to throw on first down. Just too much mustard on that one. Can't miss the target that badly. Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on second down. Looking to fire. Setting up the screen. Now they're starting to feel it. They've got a first down at the 44. Fast completion move the sticks in. Let's see if they try it again.
I don't know if this defense knows what just hit them because they gave up the completion, they gave up a first down, and now here's the offense back up at the line of scrimmage again, going tempo.
Just a short pass to the tight end. Good, solid pickup there. Now they can start to smell it with a first down at the 31. Wants to keep it in the air. They're setting up the screen. Oh, he's got some space. He gets it past the first down marker, and a really nice job to set up that screen and move the sticks. Looking to pass inside the red zone. Quickly complete. And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown.
Man, find your weapons. Nice job on the quarterback. Find the running back out of the backfield. He catches it and does the rest. Walks into the end zone for the touchdown.
They opt to go for two to try to tie it up right now. Trying to run it in. Worked on the touchdown. Might as well do the same thing on the two-point conversion. He gets all 8 points on that trip. They're coming out to tee it up for the kickoff, and that last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd. And he takes this from inside the 5. Couldn't find a way to create that broken field as he stopped at the 25. And the offense heads out onto the field to get the drive started. Reads and fires complete. And just a short and safe pass play. They pick up a few. Able to run it out to the 28 on first down. Now it's 2nd and 7. The RPO, it's complete. Gets it out to about the 35-yard line. That's where they'll mark him out of bounds in this offense trying to put something together. Use the play fake. Now to throw. Looking deep. And it goes through his hands. Oh, he had an explosive play right there for the taking, but couldn't reel it in. Zings it complete to the right. Turning it on. And the explosive play, and they're on the move all the way to the 44.
So difficult because my eyes tell me as a defensive guy, he's handing it off. The offensive line's blocking run. I got to go get it. Quarterback pulls it, throws it to the right. It's kind of like that hidden hat game. Like, where's the ball? I'm always trying to find that guy.
Incomplete thanks to the great defensive pressure there that sort of threw them out of rhythm. Try to make up for some of that lost ground on second down. Throws to the wideout. And it's incomplete, going for the massive explosive play instead. They're looking at a third down. From the gun, wants to pass. He'll off one deep down the left side. Intercepted, big play, stops the drive. He's brought down. A short return, but the defense comes out on top with a pick.
Well, the defense comes away with the pick there with their nickel personnel. And I think moving forward, if you're on offense, when you see that personnel in the field, you want to run the ball against it because you got smaller guys out there. Or if you're going to throw, think about quick screens outside when you have tight ends flexed on the perimeter, bigger bodies blocking smaller guys.
And the offense takes over to dip into its bag of ball plays. They'll give it to Johnson. Lowers those pads. They finally get him stopped, and this veteran junior running back comes up with a nice play. QB draw.
Already, it's completely changed the game. Like, now it's 11-on-11 football. The quarterback used to hand it off and stand there your foot in the ground, pick up 3 to 4, and we are not going to complain.
A little too much on that one, just out of his reach. Now facing a 3rd and long from the 50-yard line. Brown will throw it. He lofts it high and deep down the left side. And he pulls it in inside the 15-yard line. David, you're the analyst. I'll defer to you, but it was as if he saw cover 1 and says, I'm attacking downfield.
I like that. You should always defer to me in all situations, but exactly right. See the safety. Now I know the outside third of the field is mine. It's a one-on-one matchup with the corner. I like my guy. He likes him for a reason because he just made a big play for him.
So after the huge chunk play, they've got it 1st and goal from the 10. They'll try to get it in with the run. He'll be hauled down just inside the 10 of the 9 as they're trying to turn this into a score. The run up the middle, trying to find his way to the goal line. He bullies his way all the way down to the 5-yard line. They'll try to pass it in on 3rd and goal. Gets it out quickly. And they've got him down after the short completion, but they inch closer and closer to pay dirt. Trying to pound it in. They stop him short of the marker, and they'll turn it over on downs. 1st and 10 from inside their own 5. You got to take care of the ball, but there is room to take a shot here. And how about the efficiency on that one? It'll bring up 2nd and 4. Went to the running game on 1st down. Now here they come again. Off play action. Caught behind the line. It's Robinson. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. So 3rd and short from inside the 20. You convert here, and this drive takes on a different complexion. From the gun, wants to pass. And it's incomplete on 3rd down. They bring the punter onto the field now. They'll look to pin him deep. Sometimes avoiding disaster is the best thing. The punter just gets it out of there. Now a fair catch is called for and made just shy of midfield. So 1st play of the drive coming here from their own 49. Off play action on 1st down. And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball. Plenty of time for one more snap before the end of the quarter. Now on the counter. And after a very short pickup on that run, we have come to the end of the 3rd quarter. We've been treated to an aerial show by these two guys so far as you check out their numbers. These two teams about to find out what they're made of as we open the 4th all tied up. So we open the final period with a 3rd down play. Brown wants to pass. Pressure coming. And to get rid of it quickly.
Quarterbacks need time when they're in the pocket to complete throws. That QB had no shot after taking that.
Another punt on the way. Got to make sure those hammies and glutes all activated. Don't want any muscle pulls from overuse. And we'll see the offense make its way onto the field here, hoping for a successful drive. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. Got stuffed on 1st down. It's 2nd and 10. From the gun, running back on the move. Powers through the defender. And he'll step across the sidelines after making a good gain on that one. Coming to the line of scrimmage on 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. And that's incomplete. A defender all over him. Knocked the ball to the ground. 4th down coming up. And after that, best thing you can do, hunt it away. Here comes the special teams. On his much done on that first play of the drive. It's 2nd and 11. He'll keep it himself. Sweet cut there. Tackled there by the defense. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. 3rd and short now. They snap it from their own 46. He'll sneak it. Got the first down and more. They moved the chains on the ground last time. Let's see if they try to hit him up top. On the run, it's Peyton. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. And that one's incomplete.
I love the quick decision the QB made there on that RPO, knowing he wanted to get it out of his hands fast. He just needs to make a more accurate throw moving forward.
And here's a fumble way behind the line. Defense grabs the football, and there he goes. Don't just make a play. Make a play. Fumble recovery, scoop, and score for the touchdown. What a shift in momentum. What a big-time play. He just took matters into his own hands.
And what a mistake by the QB throwing the football. His receiver, obviously, they weren't on the same page at all. The defender steps in front, makes the big play, and then every kid's dream, right? You play defense, you create the turnover, and then you take it all the way to the end zone.
They'll try to add another to their lead. The extra point is good, and now in the 4th, they're up by a touchdown and an extra point. That is a defensive player's dream. Ball sitting there, chance to scoop it up, run with it, and they don't stop you until the band starts playing. Fielded in the end zone, it's Stewart. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. Here comes the offense back onto the field. Trying to beat him to the left. He's knocked down a couple of yards behind the line of scrimmage. Behind the chains now on 2nd and long. Back to pass. And he dropped it. Just didn't look the thing all the way in. Not exactly the ideal situation for this offense. 3rd and long, backed up inside their 20. From the gun, wants to pass. He misses his man. The accuracy just not what it needed to be on that play. And here comes the punt team. This will be the 5th kick of the night. Coverage team able to put a stop to that return at the 42-yard line. They got the big fellas out there. A 3 tight end look on 1st and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. They order this clock to move. And he's able to shed 1 tackle and pick up pretty good yardage. The clock continues to run, and they'll be happy to wind it all the way down before they snap it. The gift to the tailback. They knock him down, but he's got enough to get it across the line and pick up the first down. So they move the sticks on the run. Let's see what they do with this one. It's a draw. There he goes. A most efficient pickup of 6 on first down. It's 2nd and 4. Timeout called here by the defense. It's their first of the half. The handoff to Johnson. They make the stop, and he'll have enough yardage for a first down. Defense calls a timeout to put together a strategy. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 34.
All right. Well, that was an entertaining game to say the least. Thibodeau holds on to the victory with on that one, thanks to a crazy play there in the fourth quarter, defensive play, scoop and score. And Tremaine Johnson, their running back, we'll take a look at his stats here in just a minute. Definitely the workhorse on their end. Bill Yacht on Ellender's side had a pretty decent day throwing the ball. Man, they came out hot, red hot early on. 223 yards passing. Dropped off a little bit there in the second half. He did have an interception, and then I didn't even see him come in at some point. But yeah, apparently the backup came in for one. I must have missed that when the backup came in for one play. Okay. Well, let's go to rushing. Let's see. We had Billiot had a few runs from the quarterback position. Those two fumbles were costly, but that one fumble in particular was costly. Let's see. Drake actually not a big game running the ball, and then he got knocked out there. I think in the fourth, Peyton came in. Didn't they just didn't have a lot of success on the ground. Ellender did, but they did move the ball through the air. Here's the receiving stats, and Thibodeau could not find an answer for this guy. It seemed like 9 catches, 169 yards, and a touchdown. Man, he was just running all through their defense. And it was mostly him. You can see these other receivers are just one or two catches apiece, so they pretty much focused on this guy. And then just a quick reminder that we do this at the end of every game because there's no way, since I'm using the play now mode, to simulate these games. I don't have any way of going in and actually keeping track of these stats from week to week. So we just do this at the end of every game. That way, anyone that wants to keep track at home, following at home, can do that. And just pause the screen when they're ready to write some of this down. Or if not, that's no big deal. But I do it just to take a peek at them at the end of every game. Kicking stats, not much there. The one field goal, and then the punting stats. Let's move on to Thibodeau's stats now. So Thibodeau will move up in the rankings, or at least will remain where they're at, while Ellender's going to drop a little bit. So Reuben Brown, 16 to 28, 212 yards passing, one touchdown, no interceptions. Pretty decent day for him through the air. Um, Again, they got off to a bit of a slow start, but then they really got something going there in the second half. Yeah, early in the second half with Tremaine Johnson, who was just a complete workhorse for this team today. 23 rushes for 115 yards on the ground, but then he also in that second half they got some receiving yards out of him, and we'll see him down here. 3 catches for 43 yards. One of those was a great effort to get in the end zone for the touchdown. And then here are the other receiving stats for Thibodeau on the blocking, and then we go on to defensive. Here are the defensive stats. We did have an interception. Here it is down here. There's your interception. And then who's the fumble recovery? Scoop and score for the touchdown. Fumble recovery. There it is, right there. Scoop and score. All right. Wrap this up here with kicking. And Thibodeau went for it on fourth down a couple of times. Also, uh, down there at the in the red zone, trying to punch it in the end zone, and failed both times. And you wonder, had they just kicked field goals there, that could have given you a different outcome too. But they ended up winning the game, so it worked out for them. The safety helped. They scored the touchdown later with a 2-point conversion to give them to tie up the ball game, and then the defense comes up big with the scoop and score there late in the fourth quarter. So Thibodeau is still in good shape. They're going to need a little bit of help though in terms of trying to secure one of those top two spots, and we'll find out if they can get that help or not because Terrebonne is the um, in the top spot right now in terms of standings as the only undefeated team, and we're about to watch them play in just a second. So Thibodeau will play Terrebonne next week. So that could be a very, very important matchup if Thibodeau wants to get one of those bye weeks going into the playoff run here. So let's go to a pause screen. I'm going to get things set up in the background, and we're going to move on to our next game. Stick with me. I will be right back.